Good morning, Washington, Baltimore, and all the ships at sea. It's the 8th of August, my half birthday. This is the day that I turn and a half, 39 and a half today. So how y'all doing, everybody? Okay, so format change in the Washington area, the Baltimore area, actually. Not a big deal. Who listens to AM anyway? 1370 up there in Baltimore. WVIE is apparently now running it's running oldies, okay? 60s through 80s. I guess 80s are now considered oldies. Plugged into a Cumulus network, and then they're going to be starting up some local original shows. They've got a Help Wanted out here on DCRTV for a morning show host and a co-host. So check that out, the DCRTV job ads. It's got a good signal. Although I was driving around here in Northern Virginia yesterday and wasn't able to pick them up too well. I don't know. There's just a lot of, interference on that AM band, and it's just really hard to hear anything on AM anymore. You get a lot noise, and I don't know, who knows. The CIA's got a couple big buildings out here in the Reston area where the DCRTV World Headquarters is, and whenever you drive by them, you hear all this. If you're listening to AM radio, it practically wipes everything off the AM dial. With all this noise. I don't know what that is, but it's weird. So that's the big news there. The other thing I want to say, I'm looking at the new radio ratings came out yesterday. These are the July numbers, the monthlies. Okay, we report the weeklies on a weekly basis, usually every Tuesday, and this Tuesday came the monthlies, and this is for the month of July. And I'm just looking at things, and I'm looking at the new WNEW. Now, that was the all-newser that was started by CBS back in January. So it's been on the air a good seven-ish months now, okay? And honestly, I'm not seeing any trend upward for that station. Essentially no traction. Looking at the last 3 months of their ratings, they were 24th place with the 12-plus beauty contest numbers demographic in May, 26th place in June, and 27th place in July. Now, they actually went down in the ratings during the month of July. That's a month where there was a lot of news in the Washington area. That big derecho came through, and millions of people didn't have power, and millions of people were turning to the radio, to get the news and all that. And WTOP, the longtime all-newser here in Washington, currently owned by Hubbard, their ratings went up. They went up from like 3rd or 4th place up to 1st place in July because so many people were tuning them in. You would think you would see a bump like that for WNEW. You think you would. But no, their numbers actually went down a bit. So, you got to say, what's going on over there at CBS? Okay, granted, a big, well-staffed station. And I listen to it every now. I plug in 99.1 every now and then, and it's not a bad-sounding station. It sounds like an all-newser. I think they do a nice job with it, and I like the personalities. And I've said this over and over again. One of the things, I get calls from radio guys all the time. In fact, I got a call from one of my good friends who's a local WTOPer, who I will not mention his name because he might get into trouble for mentioning that he talks to me. But, they all mention that, hey, Dave, you're real influential. You ought to you want to start mentioning this show more, or this show more, or this personality more, or this more, because those radio program directors are listening to you. And he's, giving me this big spiel about a local morning show that he really thinks should be doing better things and be on a better station. And I could do that, I guess, but I don't know. I'm not being paid to be anybody's agent, although I could be. But still, they're talking about how influential I am, and I do like to spew a lot of things, and I think a lot of it's pretty right on the money target, But a lot of, I think, these radio guys, I'm a professional radio programmer or whatever, and they don't want to take any advice from this crazy shaved head, bearded, bald dude, out here in the hinterland. So they don't do it, But looking at WNEW, I'll tell you, so of course, we've said it before. They want to get better ratings. They need a better signal. In this age of PPM, being on 99.1 out there in Anne Arundel County, they just need to get on 94.7 or something inside the Beltway. That's a given. But other than that, they just need that website. They should have started with a better website. That's CBS local template just doesn't cut it for them. They can't compete with WTOP with using that. They did hire that top WTOP web guy, so I presume sometime this fall they'll get their website kicked up. But it was something they probably should have done from the start. And the other thing I still think they need to do, they need to sell their news readers and news personalities and sports personalities. They need to sell them in the market. They need to start developing YouTube videos where they are just introducing and talking to their, people like Chaz Henry and Lisa Baden and other people that are on the station. And they need to, sell these people as personalities. Yes, you do need to market your news personnel as personalities in this day and age. They need to be doing that. They need to be doing some more advertising. They need to be using Facebook and Twitter and YouTube especially, because it doesn't cost much to do that, to get that message out. Hey, this is our news staff. They're good people. You'll enjoy listening to them. They really aren't doing any of that. I mean, I've seen almost no promotion. Which lends a number of people over at WTOP to say, hey, this has got to just be some kind of a tax write-off for CBS or something like that, because they really don't seem to be terribly interested in really competing. I don't know. These crazy companies, again, they're not necessarily in the business to get ratings, they're in the business to make money. And that's one of the things you think high ratings equals lots of money, and that is true in some cases, but it isn't true in every case. You can have crappy ratings as long as advertisers come on your station. If they don't mind, they want to go for a tiny target demographic, or they just want to be surrounded by a certain format, then as long as they can get the advertisers on board, feed them the Kool-Aid. Regarding the rate, whether they care about the ratings or not, it doesn't matter. But I really do think that WNEW needs to start thinking about getting those numbers up there. Better signal, better website, and start working on really selling their personalities. Make people want to say, hey, I want to listen to 99.1 because I like Chaz Henry, or I like whatever, Bill Rakoff or whatever. Sell the personalities. But what the hell? Don't listen to me. What the hell? What do I know? I'll tell you, some of these corporate radio dudes, they just get promoted and promoted and promoted to the point where, they're just, I don't know, stooges. All right, so let's take a real quick look at the ratings here for July. Again, WTOP trending upward because of the old DeRate show, and they're back to first place. WAMU pretty much stay stuck in second place. WHUR, alternating between third and fourth place. Hot 99.5 trending down a little bit from first place in June to fourth place in July. And I think that's because of just so much competition. Mix 107.3 is trying to sound like a contemporary hit station, and Fresh is giving them some heartburn. Wash pretty much stuck at fifth place. MMJ pretty much stuck at sixth place. Big pretty much stuck at seventh place. Not a lot of movement there. PGC trending upward. Now, we've noticed, and Radio Info and a number of trade pubs have noticed that a number of the urban stations around the country are trending upward, and ethnic stations too. And I'm seeing that here in Washington. PGC, KYS, and Spanish LZL are all trending upward a bit. You wonder if the radio ratings firm Arbitron is somehow tweaking things in terms of their methodology to attract, to at least better measure the ethnic populations in the Washington area, African American, Hispanic, whatever. I don't know, but you're seeing this trend all across the country, that urban stations and certain ethnic Spanish type stations are going up significantly in the ratings all across the country, all at the same time. So you're seeing that here with the PGC in 8th place, KYS in 9th place. So they're both trending upward. Country, WMZQ, trending downward slightly at 10th place. Alternative Rocker, DC 101, pretty much stable at 11th place. Praise, Contemporary Christian Gospel Station, pretty much stable at 12th place. Hot 99, rather Mix 107.3. They're up a little bit, maybe in a 14th, 12th to 13th in July. So yeah, up a tad. A good, as I said, a good upward trend for WLZL Spanish Adult Contemporary from 17th to 14th place this month. Fresh 94.7 is staying pretty much stable at about 15th place. WMAL is pretty much stable at about 17th or 16th place. They were 17th place in May, 18th place in June, and up to 16th place in July. But again, with all the political news coming up, you think they'd be doing better than that. Plus, with an FM signal, a definite trend downward we're seeing is for WGTS Contemporary Christian. They've gone from 9th place in May to 17th place in July. Wonder what's going on with that. Also, a trend downward for classical WETA. I honestly think that sometime in 2013 they're going to pull the plug on classical and go to a talk format. I just think it's inevitable. We shall see. You know, that's my guess. WJFK, Sports Talker, stuck at 19th place. Wink FM, Winchester, up a little bit to 20th place in the Western market for July. WTEM, again, kind of trending a little bit downer for the other sports talker in the market, 20th place to 21st place. Then we have WFRE, and also in 21st place, Spanish WDCN, the TV station that thinks it's a radio station, at 23rd. WBQB out of Fredericksburg, also at 23rd. Then when we jump down a little bit lower, and we have WAVA. You know, they ought to sell that signal to Dan Snyder, but what the hell. 25th place. And WNEW at 27th place. Again, trending kind of downward. So there. PFW down there at 30th place. WOL at 36th place. WFED at 39th place. WAMU Stream at 39th place. What other stations are we seeing on here? WDMV, Spanish Variety, 46th place. WTNT, 46th place. WYCB, 46th place. So those are some of the latest radio ratings. Okay, folks, that's July radio ratings here on DCRTV.com. Thanks for watching, everybody. Major Garrett is subbing on WMAL today. Like him a lot. He would be a huge addition to that. A good, huge addition to that morning show. If you get my drift. Nobody listens to me over there. There's crazy Sam Rogers running around. Thanks for watching Dave TV for the 8th of August, 2012. Live long and prosper.